Hello, I'm Steve Weber, the host of Beatles Rewind. Good afternoon, everybody. It's October 8th, 2025. As always, I'm joined by my co-host and fellow Beatlemanic, Cassandra. Cassandra, can you turn down your Spotify for a sec? Turn on your mic.
Hi, Steve. I'm ready. Go.
Okay, today we're focusing on one single song, I Want to Be Your Man, written, of course, by Lennon and McCartney.
Ah, yes, that one. Seems simple on the surface.
It does, right? You might just glance at it, sitting there with the Beatles and think, oh, okay, another upbeat album track. But looking at the background you pulled together, this song is way more significant than that, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's actually a fascinating pivot point in, well, pretty much mid-century rock history.
Even though Lennon and McCartney themselves apparently called it a throwaway.
Exactly. That's part of the story. A supposed throwaway that, well, helped launch a huge rivalry and also kind of cemented roles within the Beatles themselves.
Okay, so quite a bit packed into one short song. Where do we start? The creation.
I think we have to start there. It's got this almost legendary status connecting the two biggest bands of that whole era, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones.
And it defined Ringo's spot, too, you mentioned.
Yeah, specifically as that reliable lead vocal for, one song per album early on. It really solidified that role for him.
All right, let's dive into that creation story then. The sources talk about this chance meeting, right? Late 63, somewhere near Charing Cross Road in London.
That's the legend. Apparently, John and Paul were just walking along, and they bump into Andrew Loog Oldham, the Stones manager.
Or maybe the Stones themselves. Sources differ a bit there.
All right, the details are a little hazy, but the core point is Oldham, or the band, was desperate. They needed material. They needed a single, like Yesterday.
To build on whatever small momentum they had going.
Exactly. And what happens next is just, well, it shows the incredible confidence, maybe even arrogance, of Lennon and McCartney at that point.
How so?
Because they basically took up the challenge on the spot. Paul apparently had this simple verse and chorus idea already cooking.
Something he was thinking of for Ringo, you said.
Yeah, something upbeat and straightforward for Ringo to sing, so they had the bones of it.
And then the legend gets really dramatic. They finished it right then and there, in a taxi, or a corner of the studio.
Something like that. The key thing is they reportedly knocked out the rest of the song incredibly quickly, while Oldham and maybe some of the Stones were watching.
Wow. That's not just songwriting. That's a performance of songwriting, like showing off almost.
It really was a public display of, look how easy this is for us, proving their dominance,
And John Lennon's later comments kind of back that up, don't they? Calling it a throwaway.
Oh, absolutely. He was pretty blunt about it. Said something like, we weren't going to give them anything great.
Ouch. Musical charity, but with a bit of a sting.
Definitely some competitive spirit involved. But here's the twist, the really crucial part for music history.
Go on.
Despite Lennon's later cynicism, the act of witnessing that quick creation, it apparently had a massive effect on the Stones.
How so? Did they feel insulted, or?
Quite the opposite, it seems. Keith Richards and others in the band have actually credited watching that happen as the direct spark they needed.
The spark for what?
For their own songwriting, for the Jagger-Richards partnership to actually start writing seriously.
Wait, really? That specific moment is credited with launching the Glimmer Twins as songwriters.
The sources strongly suggest it was the catalyst, yeah. Before this, the Stones were mainly doing blues covers. Great covers, but covers nonetheless.
They didn't think they could write hits themselves.
Apparently not, or at least they hadn't cracked it. Seeing Lennon and McCartney whip up something catchy and effective so fast sort of demystified the process.
Ah, so it made songwriting seem less like magic and more like a craft they could actually learn and do.
Exactly. It showed them a template, maybe. A simple, driving commercial template they could adapt. It apparently changed their whole approach almost overnight.
That's incredible. A throwaway song accidentally teaches rock and roll titans how to write. Okay, so how did the Stones handle this gift?
They grabbed it and ran. They released I Want to Be Your Man as their second UK single in November 1963, very quickly after getting it.
And their version sounds quite different from what you might expect from early Beatles, right?
Completely. They leaned into the simple structure, sure, but they gave it this raw, bluesy, almost gritty edge. It wasn't pop. It was early British blues rock.
They roughed it up, basically.
Definitely. And the absolute defining sound of their version, Brian Jones's slide guitar.
Ah, yeah. That solo is really prominent, isn't it? Very aggressive.
Totally. It's heavy, kind of dangerous sounding. It immediately stamped the track with their sound, drawing on Chicago blues, setting them apart from the Beatles' cleaner style.
So that slide guitar wasn't just decoration. It was a statement of identity.
Absolutely. And it worked commercially, too. The single went to number 12 in the UK charts.
Number 12. Okay, not number 1, but significant for them at that stage.
Hugely significant, with their first real commercial hit. And you have to think about what that means in the early 60s music business.
Money, independence.
Both. That success, that chart position, it bought them crucial things. Better gear, studio time.
And breathing room, I imagine.
Exactly. Breathing room for Jagger and Richards to develop their own songs without constant pressure from the label to just deliver another cover. That number 12 hit essentially funded their future songwriting career.
Wow. The economic impact of one song. Okay, fascinating. Now, let's flip back to the Beatles. Their version comes out just weeks later on the album with the Beatles.
Right. So if the Stones used it to find their footing, what was its job for the Beatles?
Good question. Their sound was pretty well established by then.
Well, according to Paul McCartney himself, the intention was very specific and very internal. It was designed purely for Ringo.
As his vocal spotlight for that album.
Precisely. Keep it simple, keep it up-tempo, give Ringo a lead vocal track. Just like Boys on the first album, Please Please Me.
So it was about making sure everyone in the band got their moment, solidifying Ringo as that third voice.
Exactly. The dependable, high-energy voice for one track per record.
And Ringo's performance reflects that, doesn't it? It's not smooth like John or Paul.
Not at all. It's raw, almost shouted in parts. It really connects back to their early days, that relentless energy from the Hamburg clubs.
Right, pure rock and roll shouting. And musically, how does the Beatles version compare? You said the Stones was bluesy.
The Beatles' take is actually more frantic, faster tempo, really driving.
More energetic pop, less blues grit.
Yeah, but with a unique texture added by George Martin, the Hammond organ.
Ah, right. That's quite distinct on their recording. Why add that? It's not typical Beatles instrumentation for that period.
No, it's more common in R&B or even garage rock. It adds this thick, slightly fuzzy, almost chaotic layer underneath.
So Martin was deliberately roughing it up a bit too?
I think so, yeah. Making Ringo's track stand out, giving it a different kind of raw energy compared to the polished pop elsewhere on the album, like All My Loving. It makes the track hit hard.
Okay, so we've got two iconic bands, one song, two very different uses, all happening in late 63. But the story doesn't even end there, does it?
Nope. There's another layer if you look internationally. Before either the Stones or the Beatles released their versions.
Someone else covered it.
An American singer, Dill Shannon. He actually recorded and released a version back in June 1963.
June 63, that's months before. How did he even hear it?
That shows you how fast word was spreading about Lennon and McCartney's songwriting, even before the full-blown invasion. Shows their tunes were already getting noticed across the Atlantic.
Did Shannon's version do well?
Not hugely. It only got to number 77 on the U.S. charts, apparently.
Okay, so not a smash hit, but still significant.
Very significant, historically speaking, because it's cited as the very first Lennon-McCartney composition to ever chart in the United States, period.
Wow. The first ripple of the wave that was about to hit?
Exactly. Months before I Want to Hold Your Hand exploded.
That's amazing. And the song itself just keeps going, doesn't it? It seems built to last.
It really does. That straightforward, driving beat, simple structure. It's perfect cover material.
We've seen it done by standard rock and roll tribute bands.
All the way to punk bands, like the Rizzolos did a version in '77. It's just a great, adaptable, high-energy tune, a real three-chord banger, as they say.
Yeah, it is. And Ringo himself still plays it.
Oh, yeah. He keeps it in the set list for his all-star band tours pretty regularly. It's reliable, gets the crowd going, maximum energy, minimum fuss.
So, wrapping this up, we start with a song Lennon dismisses as a throwaway, but it ends up being this incredibly pivotal track. It helps launch the Stones, gives them their first hit, literally sparks the Jagger-Richards writing team.
And at the same time, it perfectly solidifies Ringo's vocal spot within the Beatles.
It really is a snapshot of that whole early British invasion moment.
Yeah.
The collaboration, the fierce competition, all wrapped up in one song.
It's like a foundational document disguised as just another album track.
Which leads to a pretty interesting thought for you, our listener, doesn't it?
I think so. Yeah. If Lennon genuinely saw this as disposable, just good enough to give away, what does that tell us about music itself? That something dashed off so quickly can accidentally kickstart a rival's legendary career and still be a rock standard 60-plus years later. It makes you wonder about the unpredictable power locked inside even simple songs.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Whenever you feel like knowing more about the Beatles, visit us at BeatlesRewind.com. Every day we do something new there. Cass, we'll do it again tomorrow. Right.
Until then, peace and love.
Until next time, when you listen,
Your mind conducts its own symphony.